Hello, it is I, Meklo, and today I'm playing Majespecters. I got some sleep. I'm all woke up and ready to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! Optimally. And the deck I've chosen to play is what I think is a potential decent niche option in the current metagame, even though its options against what I think will be the best deck of this format, aka Liberalisk, are rather limited. But still, this is a pretty fun, pretty budget deck. Also, I'm waiting for a phone call, so if I get this phone call while recording this video, I'm gonna have to interrupt it, and that'll be bad, so hopefully this doesn't happen. So anyway, this Majespecter is a bunch of untargetable, indestructible little monsters that don't have that big an attack, but get you an advantage when you summon them, which is pretty cool. Yara gets you a spell, QB gets you a trap, Ogama sets a back row but you can't activate it this turn, Bambaku gets you another Majespecter monster, and Nekomata gets any Majespecter card but in the end phase. So the ratios that I'm playing, I'm rather comfortable with. I'm thinking maybe one more Yata, because we do have a lot of good spells. The back row that we have is 3 Cyclone, which is basically Signet Crosswipe. We also have a Tornado, which is... it banishes, so it's better against stuff that you don't want in a graveyard. And Storm, which is a normal spell that shuffles into the deck, which is also pretty good. And then we're just playing the generic good stuff. Although I'm thinking maybe the Crackdown isn't the best choice for this format. Maybe Book of Eclipse is better. So that's that. And as far as the extra deck goes, we mostly play stuff to remove the back row. We can make Lightning Shidori, we can make Breaksword, we can close games with Utopia Lightning, we have Dark Rebellion. I guess, no, you can't make Reader's Knife with this deck, so there's no point. And Vespernato is there. I don't find myself going to the extract often, just because it's so comforting having these little guys that can be targeted or dealt with in traditional ways. You know, like, even removing them by battle is not that big a deal, because they go back to your extra deck, so you can just summon them again. But if you go into an Xyz or a... I guess it only applies to Xyz monsters, right? If you go into an Xyz and the Xyz gets removed from the field, suddenly you're vulnerable to ITP or Graveyard Disruption that might bother you in ways that you want to bother before. For the skill, we are playing United Pendulum, which fits perfectly with our little friends. The idea is you normal summon a Majespecter, then you activate the skill, turns it into a scale with its effect negated, and then you put another Majespecter into a scale with its effect negated, which isn't that big a deal because these don't have scale effects anyway. So yeah, this is probably the best pan deck you could be playing at the moment. Wow, that feels depressing to say. Let's check a couple of replays. This is going to be a KC Cup replay against a Sacred Beast player. Sacred Beast still my favorite deck of all time. I love that you can click heal a button and get a huge beta super easily for no cost whatsoever, because this game is really well designed and balanced. Anyway, fortunately I get to go first and open a pretty decent hand. So my opener is going to get the Bangboku out here. I'm going to get Bangboku rather than Nekomata, so I can get an Ogama really quickly, and then use my skill to set Bangboku and QB into my pen zones and pen summon for 2. I mean to pose before the pen summon animation, that's fine. Nekomata, which is going to get me a search in the end phase, and the Ogama, which is going to be able to set directly from deck a Tornado, which is probably my strongest piece of disruption against this deck. I'm going to set the Cyclone and in the end phase, search a Yata. I clicked off of the Duel Links window for a sec. So, my opponent is going to reveal Araya and get a Dark Beckoning Beast from their deck to their hand. They're going to summon the Dark Beckoning Beast, get the opening of the Spirit Gates. You know, it's the classic thing that the get does. Opening Spirit Gates is going to get the Chaos Summoning Beast that they're going to be able to normal summon thanks to the Dark Beckoning Beast. It's going to be met with a Majespecter Tornado, because I don't want them to have access to Fallen Paradise this game. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to set to pass, and they're going to activate the skill. Oh, they're not going to pass actually. They're going to put Raviel back from their hand into the deck, and then set Raviel straight from the deck, and they're going to, flip the Raviel, they're going to go for battle, but I have the Majespecter Cyclone to take care of the Raviel, because they don't have a Fallen Paradise, which is really good for me. I am going to pen summon 2 in that scenario. I'm going to go for the Ogama in lieu of the Nekomata, even though the Nekomata would have sort of plussed me there. slowly. I wanted to put some damage in. The Yata and the Ogama are both going to get another Majespecter Cyclone, which is really good for me, if you ask me. I'm going to set the IDP. I'm going to attack their hero attack with the things that are apparently strong enough to beat some evil demons. Taking 2300 damage, my opponent is going to pitch a Cerulean Skyfire, gets a Dark Beckoning Beast, get a Chaos Summoning Beast, and then realize that they can't win because I am better than them. Always will be, and that back row was useless because my stuff can't be targeted. And here's another very funny replay against Sharks, which is also a deck that gets to put a free beta by clicking yellow button. But I'm more than okay with this one, because it actually takes a little bit more skill to pull off. And if you're me specifically, you open in an unplayable hand like 9 out of 10 times. So, this hand is pretty decent. This time I'm going to get the QB on my field ASAP, get the Tornado, activate the skill to put QB and Bambuku into my pen zones, pen summon 2, which is going to be the Nekomata, and the Yata. Nekomata is going to get a search in the end phase. Yata is going to get a Cyclone right now. Set 3 pass, which IDP is really good against this deck. The rest is just, is decent. In the end phase, I'm going to get another Bambuku, because I just like this little fella. My opponent is going to activate the part of the skill that reveals that they didn't open any play cards that they can play with. So they're going to go straight into Utopic Ray Armored Lancer. They're going to go into Battle Phase set 1. I am going to Tornado to get rid of the try and get rid of the Utopic Ray Lancer, but Forbidden Lens, but I have the Majespecter Cyclone, so I can get rid of it super easily. And with this, they end their turn. So, I am going to normal the Bambuku. Bambuku is going to get a Kirby. I am going to pen summon 3, including the Yata from the extra, the Ogama from my hand, and the Kirby also from my hand. Ogama and Yata are both going to get a set, but not the Kirby, because we only have one Tornado, because Konami hates Pendulum. I'm going to set the Cyclone straight from deck, and this is probably a mistake, but I am going for the Lightning Kidori here. Lightning Kidori also in my main monster zone, which is another mistake. Targeting what happens to be a Needle Stealing, which is going to get rid of only the Lightning Kidori. I am going to attack because I thought they were sitting on like left-hand Shark. And I think left-hand Shark has like 1300 defense, I'm not sure. But I was not expecting to run into an Effect Veller that is pretty useless against this deck because it can be targeted by card effects. So, my opponent's going to set 2 cards and pass, and from this point forward, I'm feeling really good about this game. I'm like, this is an easy victory. I can just pen summon the Nekomata, which is going to get me a search in the end phase, tribute it for the Majestic Pegasus, get a Bambuku. Bambuku is also going to get me a search. So I have all the cards that I need. Were it not for Book of Eclipse, which doesn't target and just flips everything down, and more importantly, makes free to watch 3 cards. I only have 2 cards left in deck. Uh-oh, my guy still hasn't opened a playable monster, which is kind of a shame. I'm going to try and go for lethal, but oh no! They drew the second Book of Eclipse, so I just lose by deck outs now. Yeah. How often is this going to happen? I don't know. But I guess this is one weakness that this deck has. It's Book of Eclipse. You've been warned. So, what can I say about this deck? It's pretty fun. It's not all that great. Your interaction is basically limited to the back row that you get. It's a very back row centric deck. And unfortunately, we're in a format where a lot more decks can play around a lot more back row, which is annoying. It's like Borrowlink can easily put out a Levianier to get rid of your stuff before committing to more plays. Sacred Beasts, if they go first and they open Fallen Paradise, there isn't actually much that you can do against them, right? Except just sit there and take a massive beating. Star Seraphs, is it even worth talking about Star Seraphs? Just get rid of your back. I mean, yeah, it's probably more interactable than the other decks out there. And yeah, no, I mean, it's a kind of it's probably rogue playable, but I don't see it like being that amazing. I've seen a 30 cards version that plays like Magicalibra and Painful Decision and fucking Raging Storm Dragon as a way to like stop Literalists, which is probably maybe worth considering. But other than that, I don't know, there's probably some more digging to do with this deck because the core itself is like consistent and interesting enough that you might want to give it a try, but the finality of the archetype is still pretty lackluster in the face of everything else that we're getting. But hey, let me know if you agree or disagree with this assessment of the deck, and hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching it. Thank you in particular to Dingus, Zinnia, Jimmy, Yannick, Ardishboy0. I said these names in a complete wrong order, but thank you for your support on Ko-fi, and I will be back soon-ish with more content. Maybe I'll finally make that Great Old Kaiju video that I've been wanting to try out. That would be interesting. Thanks once again for watching. Take care, everyone. I'll see you all next time.